Hi. I'm gonna be a little bit more laid back as far as this goes and whatnot, and we're just gonna have time on here. I'm just gonna build a few things and all that kind of stuff. It's your average just type of thing. Kent may join me on the Discord VC later, but yeah, other than that, yeah. Yeah, this is really just for a lot of this and whatnot. All the live streams I created, really, a lot of it is just for like essentially archival purposes and all that kind of thing. But we've been pretty busy. The thing that's been taking up a lot of, because we've been playing off camera, the thing that's been taking up a lot of time for both of us is, well, as a big old resource center and storage center. It's basically got our combined resources and our storage solution, combined storage and also immersive engineering collages. I'll show you real quick, just a quick tour, and kind of get the whole feel of everything here. We topped out the building yesterday, or rather last night, and I do apologize if it starts getting laggy. This is a very intensive area, so I apologize if the stream is not really as smooth going forward. Hammond Tower, based off of his in-universe name that we came up with, may or may not have any effect on the series Giraffe or the movies Giraffe is making, but regardless. Anyway, we got a nice little receptionist here. Sadie. I'll give her a line. You know, all these two. This is all done because of custom NPCs. I'll give her lines later. But she's really just for decoration. For Stacy over here, you can actually get coffee from her. So all you gotta do is just, right click her and you can get some coffee. Long nights here in the tower. So I'll show you what we got so far. So second floor, this is really the heartbeat of this whole operation. These are the collages that Kent has made and set up, as well as these tesseracts, which I installed almost a week ago. But these tesseracts are basically channel based, so you can have two set on, you can have two and link them together with a channel. And you can have a lot of channels, which is what we have here. But yeah, dark pedestals are placed around to accelerate the speed. Flux points are set, and we recently changed this. They were originally using wireless chargers. Flux points are set up to power the things. Dark pedestals from Project E are set up to make sure that these things go a lot faster. There's a infinite source water block in the corner there from pressure pipes to make sure there's enough water to keep these things supplied. And a lot of the bounty that is released, the essence that is released from these seeds, goes into here. And there's an entire room down below. But as you can tell, there's a lot of stuff in here. Thankfully, it's not as laggy as it once was. We went through multiple revisions of this, and it took a while, but I think we're at a good point right now. We were experimenting last night. This, I think, might have bonsai trees, and the other 3 floors, 4, 5, and 6, are just probably going to be offices. Plans on having a radio tower on top of the tower. That little bird is there, so I could test out the helicopter pad and all that kind of stuff, all that good stuff. Let me just show you what's down below real quick. Okay, basement L1. L1, just in case we need to expand deeper down. This is kind of his command center and whatnot. It's got a lot of machines. Over here is where the main computer is set up, as well as where all the drives are. This took a lot of time. Well, not really. I don't know how long it took him. But a lot of trial and error to figure out how to figure out that this existed and whatnot. And this is honestly, this is a really good solution, because really, we're not going to run out of storage anytime soon. All these drives are filled with 1 billion byte storage disks. So 8 times, you know, we have basically like 55 and 65 drives, drive housings, plus, you know, and we got each one of these holds 8, and each one of those 8 is 1 billion. It's, if we ever run out of storage, I'll honestly be amazed. Going through here, this is stuff on the second end, the secondary end. So it gets, you know, this is the other end of the channel. So the brass cloche sends out brass essence to here. That gets imported to here. We got importers on the top, and we all got it connected so it can tunnel through to here. And since everything's touching, it gets sent to the drive. Easy as pie. Or so we thought. We tried moving this, and it just was an unmitigated disaster. Unbelievably so. That computer is where it shall stay. On the other side here, we don't know what this room's going to be used for yet, but we'll find out eventually. Anyway, yeah, since we topped out the tower, I made it look all, you know, as pretty as I can at the top. May have a few changes up here, whatnot, so I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and go to Rapture to continue working on one of my builds. Yeah, because a lot of that refined storage stuff, like, there's a lot of complications and all that kind of stuff, so as the crow flies and whatnot, or who cares about sayings, I haven't had really a lot of time to work on anything else, so currently live. But yeah, I mean, as the crow flies and whatnot, I haven't had a lot of time to work on anything else. I'm just able to get to this today. I'm going to top out that, and I'm going to start with the interior walls. This is my hospital that I started about a month ago. Let's see here. I need some stone brick to finish the ceiling, and then I'll have seamless or stone slab in order to put it all together. Yeah, there we go. We got a good inventory of this stuff here. Alright. Alright, so I got the majority of the, well, at least the base of the wall set up down here. I gotta build them up with, like, because I'm gonna probably use white concrete for the walls and whatnot. You know, hospitals, very sterile environments and whatnot. Not a whole lot of color in them, to be honest. Alright. Let's continue, shall we? So this will just be for the ceiling, and then I'll have something else for the actual roof. So I've been kind of subdividing our... One thing I do notice, my buildings are a lot thicker than they used to be. I've been, because of stuff like pipes and electricity and all that other kind of stuff, I've been kind of doubling up on them so that I can add more. It's just I don't like stuff to be really out in the open and whatnot, so doubling or tripling up on the floors allows me to kind of run utilities down without completely compromising the look of everything. But really my buildings are a lot thicker than they used to be, especially when I was starting out building on this server. So yeah, when you're underground you can get away with a lot of it, but when you're building like towers and whatnot, you have to make them like thicker. I think 3 is pretty much recommended. I did 4 for Kent stuff because because of both the pedestals and at one point the wireless chargers and the pipes. There we go. All topped off. I know with that building, I still have yet to really furnish the open areas here. I need to do that eventually. Maybe it could be today. Who knows? But also combined with a flux controller that's kind of charging stuff up. Easy access to a lot of stuff, and as you can tell, like, yeah, we're doing pretty well. Come a long way. Come a long way since 2022. Oops. That would have been bad. Oh, hang on. I don't want this to be... Yeah, but really, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you know, he had the idea for adding the cloches. He had the idea for adding in refined storage. AE2 is in here as well as simple storage network, but really, I think for us it was just easier to use refined storage at the end of the day. So that's why we're using it instead of like some of the other suspects. But yeah, he really is the grand architect for a lot of like, for just the how responsible he is for making it so that I have, or we rather, as a server, because really you just have to give anybody a wireless grid and whatnot, and you're good to go. But he's the architect for really why a lot of why the server's like stupidly rich now. Because any new player, I could give them wireless grid and they have access to this stuff right at their fingertips. Yeah, but a lot of the majority of the credit really does go to him for implementing this stuff. And I mean, really, as many headaches as we both have had with this whole system of refined storage and just trying to get everything imported from the from the cloches and into the system and all this other stuff, we're at a stage where it's working now, and we're both pretty happy with the results. Though it is a bit it does get a bit laggy, especially when you got an autocrafter going with for hundreds of millions of, well, not hundreds of millions, but hundreds of thousands of blocks at once, in essence, to like ore or any other thing like that. But we could probably get around that by just scheduling when that happens, probably just in the middle of the night when nobody's on. Perhaps. I don't know. Alright, let's see here. I'm flatten this area out here. And this will pretty much act as an expansion to the city. But really, there's not too much really to the city right now. At least nothing recreational. We have a couple government buildings, a few commercial buildings. There's a garage in town, a warehouse, a firehouse, a police station. Yeah. The city has a while to go before I would really call it supposedly livable with all the amenities and all other stuff. But I know a lot of you who have been watching since we first built this in 2022. Let's just say over the course of those years, I have a very, very big respect now for city planners and grid operators and that kind of stuff now. Alright, this should button up the... There we go. Right, so... Alright, I'm going to go back to that condenser and I'm going to swap out here what I need, so... I don't think I need any more stone brick now, but what I do need now is some concrete. So I'm going to make some more. And it will take a little bit, but let me go ahead and sleep to get rid of the monsters. I did ultimately change up a couple of things from probably last time you saw this. So I put an energy cell down here, some sealable cables, and some aluminum wire just to hook these together and make sure they're working. Upgraded them with the help of Kent's massive amount of resources in the refined storage system he put together. Really, a lot has not really been touched with this area. Really. There's not much really to say. One thing I did do is to kind of minimize the annoyance right now, since we've been building a lot lately, is I've turned off the weather cycle. The season cycle's still going. I still have rivers and bits of the coast like freeze up during the winter and whatnot because the seasons will flow, but I just don't have any rain or snow right now. Mainly because it's really annoying. And it's gotten me killed. So that's always fun. Alright, let me place that there. Alright. Place these up by one. It's probably another area that I'm going to clear out. I'm not so sure what to do yet with this quagmire biome, but we'll find a use for it. One thing at a time. Alright. Alright, I'll start with the... I'm going to collect whatever concrete's collected, whatever concrete's landed in the, or as formed in the energy condenser. I'm going to go ahead and get that. And then I'll switch over to the seamless, or at least the slabs for the roof. some of these back in the computer system. Which do we have now? Almost 4,000. We have a good chunk of stone brick too. Alright, so stone, let's see here, chiseled stone. This has an EMC value, and I think there's some residual EMC in here to do some of the work. But I can pull some out at here as well. I'm gonna go ahead and outline this. I'll start from here and change things up a little bit, because I think this may require more because it's longer. Alright. Let me top off a little bit and then we'll start this whole process. We'll begin. Oh, that went quick. More. Need more.